everyone, it's LadyJenevia. I am here with, do you want to introduce yourselves?
Casper Van Dien.
Jennifer Wenger.
So obviously I had to accept when I got the email saying, do you want to talk to Casper Van Dien? Because at first they didn't let us know that anyone else was involved. And I was like, I fucking love Starship Troopers, of course. Like, that's an anti-fascist banger. But of course, you are here promoting your new show. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
It's called Salvage Marines. It's going to be on Popcorn Flix for free starting on July 28th. So everybody can check it out. It's going to be, you know, I got a great cast that I'm just so thrilled to be working with my wife. Kevin Porter, Peter Shinkota, Shane Graham, a whole bunch of great actors.
Yeah, and it's a throwback to like old 90s sci-fi that we all grew up on, so we're so excited about it, and it was such a passion project. A lot of friends on the set. We had a good time.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we are here at Comic-Con, and I wanted to do a little bit of research, extra research, besides just watching the screeners. And I was trying to see if there was anything about you, because obviously we all know who Casper is. But so you pop up in a lot of his interviews, but you're just standing there very politely. And I was like, well, that's super rude. Like, say hello to her, too. So I wanted to ask you your own question, which is, I noticed that you're really into cosplay. So what is it that sparked your passion for cosplay?
Well, when I first moved to LA, I started going out at Mann's Chinese Theater, and I was applying for jobs there, and the Superman guy just asked me, he said, Diana, and I'm a nerd, so I'm like, hello, and he said, do you have a suit? And I'm like, yes, and he said, come on out. So I did Wonder Woman on Hollywood Boulevard for 15 years. I was one of the first females, Morgan Spurlock's documentary, Confessions of a Superhero, and that got me started, and then I was a reference model for DC Comics for a while. I was the furrowed brow.
And you were Wonder Woman on Jimmy Kimmel 38 times.
Yeah.
38 times his little skits.
Oh, I didn't know that Wonder Woman was on Jimmy Kimmel, but...
Well, this Wonder Woman was. This Wonder Woman was.
We would reenact pop culture moments, like when Mel Gibson was arrested, I was Sergeant Sugar Tits.
But she just said that on, there you go.
But she said fuck.
Yeah, no, you can say... I mean, if I want to censor it, then I can do that. So
yes,
you don't have to censor yourselves, so don't worry about it.
I don't know how to.
Yeah. So I talked to Peter yesterday.
I love Peter.
And he was very complimentary to you because he was explaining that apparently there was initially an attempt to whitewash a character and you kind of put your foot down about that. So do you want to tell what happened from your point of view?
Well, all I know is that when I read it, I thought Peter Shinkota is perfect for this. And there was some suggestion of somebody else at one point in time, but it was just really quick. It was not a thing. They were going to have me play his role, Takeda, and somebody else play my role, a bigger, more famous actor. And that didn't work out.
Was it Orlando Bloom?
Then I got to play the role I wanted to. What?
Was it Orlando Bloom?
I'll never say.
Oh, wow, I don't know. I can't tell you who it was. Did he say that yesterday? He told you.
Peter. He's going to be our Tom Holland.
Oh, no.
Well, I didn't. When he said that, part of me thought he was kidding because I was like, Orlando's already on another show, unless it's getting canceled behind the scenes and I don't know about it.
We filmed a while back.
They were talking about trying to get him. That's all it was. There was no. He wasn't a get. It was not like they had him and I was going to play Takeda. But I was like, I'm not going to play Takeda. I already said that. I said that to them then. So, but then they came back around. So it's something that came around. It goes. That's just the business. It just does that.
Yeah.
Just comes sometimes.
A lot of talking.
A lot of talking, and then they change their mind, but everything. But we're thrilled that it's coming out. We're thrilled that it's going to be on Popcorn Flix and
the Popcorn Flix people and the Crackle people were also excited, and the energy we had on set, they're continuing it behind the scenes. So it's been so amazing. It's a great collaboration.
It's been a little bit more infectious.
So what were the most physically demanding parts of filming Salvage Marines?
So I'm going to tell you, I saw her one day, they had her run all the way up this mountain, and then she had to run down the mountain and jump into a ditch and shoot people. But I'm watching her go up and down this mountain, and her dad goes to me, he goes, because he played one of the Marines for a little bit, and he goes, I can't believe she's doing that. I can't believe how good she is.
My dad's country.
and I go, she's so good. And I was so impressed. So it's hot and it's all this, but we've been working all day long, and all of us have been running in the trenches, including her. And then I had to see her go up the mountain and then run down three times.
So here's the thing. Sean Piccinino is amazing, and he's our director, and he went and got the costumes himself, the helmets, and started working on the first model of it. But the breathing holes had to get closed in with like a steampunk thing, so the only way we could breathe is out the bottom in this full gear in a swamp summer in Louisiana. It was rough, but we all loved each other and kept pushing each other.
Yeah.
When one person would go down, we would come over and shake up a drink with energy stuff in it. Be like, come on, we got to rally.
Yeah, there wasn't a quit. There was no quit in it. There was no like I just can't do it anymore. Not one person did that ever, which was awesome.
And quick tip, Casper's nephew plays young him on the series, so it was a really cute thing. That was his first set.
My sister's kid. So
he's
an actor though. He does all these plays and all this other stuff. So they needed a 10-year-old me, and he was 10, and looks similar.
So the premise of the series is very anti-capitalist, and it's addressing a lot of very relevant topics like the military-industrial complex, and the fact that we are all owned by like a handful of corporations. So was that commentary something that attracted you to the project?
Oh, absolutely. I love controversial things. I love things that really make us take a look at ourselves and things like that. I mean, Starship Troopers for me, when I first read that script, I was like, oh my God, and I went, wow, this is so funny and everything. And then I went back and read the book, and I go, I can't believe, because I read the book when I was 12. Because I went to a military school, so I read the book. But it is not a satire. It's really pro. And when I read the script, I thought, oh, I didn't know there was that much humor in it. I can't believe I got that as a kid. And I went back and I read the book again, and I went, oh, no, I just liked it because of the jumpsuits. So I just, you nuke things and you blow things up. So I was like, oh, that's incredible. So that's why I liked it. But as an adult, I loved the satire and the humor. And I looked over one day and I saw Paul Verhoeven, who directed RoboCop, Ed Neumeyer, who wrote RoboCop, Phil Tippett, who did the visual effects for RoboCop, and John Davison, who was the producer of RoboCop. I'm looking over at them, and they're behind the monitor looking at us doing the shot. We had 1,300 extras there, and 30 stunt guys and 30 actors, and we're all running, shooting weapons, coming out of the dropships. And I look over and I see them, and I go, I'm Murphy. Because I was number one on the call sheet, and I know Peter Weller was number one on the call sheet, so I know. All of a sudden, I'm thinking, I'm Murphy. Yeah. I'm like, and I'll buy that for $1.
So as that pertains to Salvage Marines, do you want to add anything?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was just, as soon as we found out we might be doing it and we heard about the IP, we got all the books, we bought them on Amazon, and we dove in. And it was just such a cool concept because for me, growing up in the South, I grew up poor, and the people at my school who were rich, it's inherited wealth. So it's like they did nothing to earn it, and they act like I'm not as good as them because I don't have that. So I really love that aspect of somebody who's not in the best station in life being able to risk their lives to get their family to a better station, and that's a sacrifice that a lot of us can understand.
So we don't know a lot about Jada, at least off of the first 2 episodes, which is what I saw. So do you have anything you want to tease just about a little bit more insight into who she is as a character?
Well, the thing I love about Jada comes later, so I can't give a lot of spoilers, but I don't know how to talk about it without ruining something, but her arc, what you see teased in the final episode, in the books, that next phase of Jada, where she just becomes a machine. Like, she's a lady who gets pushed to the brink, starts to see how the system works, and she actually works to do something to change it. So that's what I really liked about her.
Yeah, because it felt like, there's a lot of introduction to the protagonist in the first 2 episodes. I'm going, okay, but what's going on with everybody else?
Yeah. Jada's good episodes are on the 2nd season, so hey guys, make it a hit.
You're good in the first season too. I love you in the first season. So.
But don't you have to say that as the, devoted, loving husband?
Yes.
Devoted, I do, but she also is.
I have a contract.
She has a contract, yes.
So another thing I wanted to ask about, because, I think you're downplaying your role in really getting Peter the part, was that apparently you got a lot of backlash for playing what was supposed to be an Argentinian character in Starship Troopers, and that you learned from that, and that's part of why, that's what informed you of, to not let that happen again.
As far as in the book, Johnny Rico, in Starship Troopers, Johnny Rico was a Filipino Buenos Airian. Okay, so he was not a Filipino. He was not a Buenos Airian. He was a Filipino Buenos Airian. What Paul Verhoeven was trying to do, I think, is, Nazi Germany, a lot of those guys went down to South America. So when he had me come from Buenos Aires, I went to military school. A lot of guys, blonde guys with blue eyes and stuff like that, who were like Jorge and Juan, and I was like, you are so German. And I'm like, so I knew that there was a lot of people, and I think Paul was trying to do something on that aspect. So it wasn't about a race thing. It was about a race thing, but it was about how whitewashed and how German, when they go down there and then they become these Buenos Airians. So Johnny Rico would be a guy that his ancestors came from there, and this is what he was. That's what I think Paul was doing. I don't know, you'd have to ask him though.
Well, but I'll toot the horn of his parents, because they grew up with him like being very aware of those social issues. His mom was a gay rights activist and social justice activist back when it wasn't cool to be. So I think she instilled that in him, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah. So but I don't believe in our show, Salvage Marines, is just, it's not about what your race is. It's just everybody's equal.
And that's something Peter said. I'm sure he said this to you, but he said he was really drawn to the role because it wasn't about him being Japanese. It was about their relationship.
Yeah.
And he's
so
a great
cool.
character, and he did such a phenomenal job. I couldn't see anybody else as him.
So I want to get your opinion. Is Sam supposed to be a sympathetic protagonist, or is he more of like a darker anti-hero?
Ooh, I think he has a little bit of aspects of both. So I think there's some things that, it's the dilemma. I think it's probably the inner dilemma that we all have as humans, where we have to battle the this dark side of us, or the harder side of us. So sometimes I think he definitely has to battle that, and there's a lot of what I like is he's not just a one-dimensional character. He's got a lot of these things where you can have you can ask that kind of question, like, wait a minute, is he the all good, or is there something really messed up with him? And yes.
Yeah.
And you kind of see that war pushes people to their absolute darkest limit. So it's like, who would you be in that situation? So.
And then it's the discovering, maybe things aren't right, and then you try to figure it out. So, like in Starship Troopers, my character didn't figure out that everything wasn't right. He was just all pro-military, and that's the way he was. That's very much straightforward. In this one, he's starting to question some things, and that gives him, I think, a little bit more power.
Yeah.
Because he's, instead of just being a yes, and maybe it's because my character's older in it, and I'm older in it. I'm really old now. But now that I'm old, I maybe have a little bit more wisdom than I did when I was young. Because when I was young, I was pretty dumb.
And Sam Heiss, it's very selfless why he's doing this sacrifice. And for Johnny Rico, it was just getting butthurt about a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, because watching him, I was like, I don't know how to feel about him, because there's some temptation going on. I don't really like how he's conducting himself. So, but I only saw the first 2 episodes, so I couldn't,
it gets better.
Couldn't come to a final conclusion just yet.
Oh, you'll have to see the next one. It's July 28th on Popcorn Flix for free.
Yeah, for free. They didn't tell me it was free until we started this interview.
They didn't tell me it was free until today either, so I didn't know. It's free!
Yeah. Well, then you guys have your panel, right? So you can say that. You have like a quote of like how many times you say the word free,
Free, yeah.
reinforce that mentally.
Yeah, from 5 to 6 in room 7AB. Are you going to come?
What time is it?
5 to 6.
Oh,
5
I think so. Yeah, I think I
yeah,
need to. Yeah, why not? Yeah. So
I'll have you there.
I know that Starship Troopers has come up a lot, but I did want to save at least one question that I really wanted to ask. Is it true that Paul directed a scene naked?
He did not direct a scene naked.
Because I saw that online. I was like, I don't know if that really happened or if that's just like people want headlines.
I'll explain what happened real quick, and I'll do it in a nutshell because a lot of people have heard this before, but maybe it just always comes up. It's so funny. We weren't all naked. We were all getting in the shower and we were getting ready to shoot and we were getting prepared. And Paul comes in and goes, come on, guys. It's no big deal. And we're like, and Dina Meyer made a joke. She said, Paul, if it's no big deal, why don't you just drop your pants? And he goes, and then Yos Vacano dropped his, and I go, Dina, no, And then he goes, okay, pulled his pants back up and goes, okay, let's shoot. And I was like, Dina, thanks. She goes, I didn't know he'd do it. And I was like, oh my God. And all of us are like, oh no, now I've seen Paul Verhoeven's penis and Yos Vacano's penis. How do I explain this? How'd you get the job? Well, I don't know. I saw their penis. I already had the job at that point.
Yeah.
But it was something I never wanted to see.
This is usually for casting.
But we shot that all day long. and Paul was dressed the whole time, except for when he dropped his pants because Dina said that stupid joke. And she's like, I didn't know he'd do it. And I'm like, oh.
Never dare a man from...
Never dare a Dutch man.
Yeah, Dutch men are wild. They're crazy. I'm Dutch, but he's Dutch. And like he kisses, when he sees Jenny, he'll give her a kiss, and then she goes, oh my God.
Because it's 3 over there. So he did it, and then the last one, I thought, oh my gosh, he accidentally kissed me. He's like, that was not an accident.
That's not an accident. He's a Dutch man. I know how he rolls. I don't blame him either. My father's the same way. He did it to her too.
Me and his dad flirt a lot, but his mom just thinks it's funny.
Well, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me. It was really fun.
I love your eyeshadow.
Oh, thank you.
It looks great. Look at that. It's on point.
Yeah.
It's on point.
Peter said the same thing. He was like, do you do your own makeup? I'm like, yeah, do I look like I have a makeup person to do my makeup for me?
Wow, no, but it looks so good.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So do you want to plug the show one more time?
Yeah.
Yes. Salvage Marines, this is the job. You know what to do. Popcorn Flix. Popcorn Flix. July 27th. 27th? 28th. Not 27th, 28th. Popcorn Flix, July 28th.
They saw Starship Troopers. They know you're not good at math.
Math is hard. I'm not a mathologist. I got a 34% in that. Can you believe that?
Poor guy. Well, you're good looking, so it's okay.
I used to be.
Tune in because there's a shower scene.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
I did think that was funny when I saw that.
The shower scene?
Yeah.
You thought it was funny. So I'm naked and you thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny because
Wait, you're saying this in front of my wife? How embarrassing is this for me?
Because you were in Starship Troopers.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I think they did that on purpose.
I think they did too. When I read Salvage Marines, I went, oh, this is like an homage to Starship Troopers in a way. And it would be like, what if Johnny Rico hadn't gone in right away, but then decided to go in later?
Yeah.
And that's what this is.
Yeah.